I've gotten lots of comments from our viewers about, well, how do we do a dating profile? How, what do we need to know? What are the best sites? Thank you so much for joining us today on Second Act TV. I'm so happy to welcome back Sandy Weiner. You're a friend now, Sandy, not even just a colleague anymore. You've been here so many times. Sandy is, of course, a very well-known dating coach. She's a communications expert. And Sandy, thanks so much for joining us again.
Oh, so fun to be back, and so fun that I was one of the first people on this show. I can't believe how far you've come.
Oh, thank you, Sandy. And you were always so supportive. It's funny, we were just talking off camera. It's been, almost 5 years since we did some of our early shows on online dating, what to do, what not to do. And it's been just about that long since I did anything on it. That's our conversation today. I've gotten lots of comments from our viewers about, how do we do a dating profile? How, what do we need to know? What are the best sites? And I guess having done this for so long is like, well, everybody knows this by now, but no, there's people every day over 50 getting back on the dating scene. So let's talk about that today, because a lot of things have changed since I know I was online when I did Match.com.
A lot has changed and a lot has stayed the same. And so I like to keep it simple. And we have apps now, and most people are dating using the apps. And even the sites like Match.com and OkCupid have apps as well. And so there's this ease of dating online where people are just swiping right and left to decide if they want to match with somebody or not. But what's stayed the same is that there still are some sites that are the best sites, I think, because they have such a large database. Mm-hmm. And those sites like Match.com, OkCupid, some are paid, some are not. And I'll go through just kind of the basics.
Yeah.
People find love on every site every day, all day long. And so they all work, and you have to really find what works for you. And when I work with clients, I get them on Match and on Bumble. If they're going to go on one app and one dating site.
Yeah, let me back up one moment just about the sites again, because there is some disagreement, shall we say, about what are the best sites for dating over 50. And maybe let's touch on that just a little bit, because, again, for somebody that just really doesn't know and is first getting on, it's almost like you have to know what site you're most comfortable on before even thinking about anything else, like developing your profile. And I know that there's a big, and maybe it's just paid advertising or marketing, but like eHarmony is touted to be like one of the best for long-term relationships and older people. And I know you don't agree with that. and then, some of the swiping sites, what that actually, the apps, what that even means. So let's just touch on that, about what you, in all your experience, and you have tons of it, you've helped hundreds, if not thousands of women do this. Where do we put our efforts? And that goes for men too.
Yeah, there is a lot of misunderstandings. And certainly if you have a big advertising budget, you're going to be known as the dating site. And it's not necessarily true. The issue I have with it, and it's getting a little bit better, but that there are a lot of gates you have to go through. You have to answer a lot of questions and go through gate number 1 and then gate number 2 and gate number 3. Online dating has become this quick, fast, swiping kind of thing. Yeah. It's, first of all, let's take the word dating out of online dating, because it's really online meeting. This is just an introduction. And the faster you can actually meet somebody, the better. So if you have to go through 100 gates, not so successful. And then there are sites that are geared just for people over 50, like the Silver Singles and other sites like that. And I find them to be limiting, because most people who are over 50 want to date people of a pretty wide range. And just like on Christian Mingle or JDate, there are people who are not Christian on Christian Mingle, and there are people on JDate who are not Jewish. And there are people who are fanatics on all these sites. If religion is important to you, and all the people who are on these sites that you're meeting are actually either don't really care about religion, or are not aligned with how you are seeing religion or care about religion,
Right.
then that may not be the best thing for you. So even though I've helped women who are religious, I have found that these niche sites that deal only with their religion have actually not helped them find a match as much as bigger sites like Match, OkCupid, even Plenty of Fish, which gets a bad rap.
Yeah.
And the apps too. I mean, Tinder got a very bad reputation as being a hookup site, but it's not. And especially as we get older, there are more people looking for long-term relationships. And your job is to sift and sort and to be able to recognize quickly whether somebody is on the same page as you as far as what you're looking for.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Well, so thank you for that explanation, because I think it is important. These are questions that we don't even know to ask until we get in it and find out what this is all about. So then obviously the next big thing is, how do you present yourself on these sites? And how do you suggest dividing that up for the sake of our conversation? Is there a difference between app profiles and website or site profiles?
Absolutely. So app profiles are very short and just capture the highlights, and a profile on Match or a bigger site is going to be longer. They give you more information, and they also have other spaces where you can put other information. And a lot of the apps do too. They'll have you say something like 2 truths and a lie, or where you hang out after work, things that actually reveal another part of you. So there are other opportunities on all these sites to add more information than just the profile. Match has different questions you can answer, topics that you can answer. And I think a lot of times that's where all the interesting stuff is. So the profile sounds really cliche. A lot of people are just super generic, super cliche. Everybody wants somebody who's just as comfortable in a little black dress as a pair of jeans and looking for a partner in crime. And people just want to, that's not, I don't want to read that anymore. And just saying things like, I'm generous and I'm loyal and I'm all these things, it doesn't really say anything about you.
Right.
So let's talk about, what a profile is and what it's not, and then we can get into the apps versus dating sites.
That sounds good to me.
Okay, good. So I'm going to speak generic, gender fluid here, whatever you are, this is going to be something that's going to apply to most people. Yeah. And so your profile is for getting the attention of the right people that you're looking for, and not for revealing every detail about your life. People tend to over explain things or not explain enough. A profile is a quick window into what makes you unique, what makes you lovable. It's also short and very specific. It's positive, not a lot of demands or negativity. See a lot of profiles that are like, I don't want this and I don't want that. The profile is about the highlights of your life, not everything about your life. And it shows that you value and respect yourself. It shows that you have a sense of humor, if you have one. And it shows that you know who would be a good match for you by the way that you describe that, because I recommend that you do, and some of the relationship standards that you have. And it's sensual but not overly sexual. So it's more like flirty, but don't put it all out there. So here's what it's not. I already talked about a little bit about what it's not. It's not a work resume. I see so many profiles that sound like, here are all my accomplishments. I've done this and I moved from this job to that job. It's like, whether it's a woman or a man, that is not what you're here for. Right. And it is not self-deprecating. It is not sarcastic. Sarcasm does not come across well on paper. You may find sarcasm funny, but it can come across as angry or passive-aggressive.
That's a great point.
It's not negative, it's not angry, it's not demanding, and it's not overtly sexual. So you really want to tell a little bit about a lot of parts of your life and do it with lightness and give just enough so somebody's curious to know about you.
Yeah. You brought up one point that I want to go back to, because it's so important, is the cliches and the generalities. I think you said the black dress example, the walks on the beach. the, cuddling on the couch reading a book. I mean, all this might be true. That might be something you really, and who doesn't like it? I think that's the point. When you start reading profiles, one sounds like the next. And I think that's a big takeaway, is just those kinds of sentences, those kind of descriptions. The man, if you're a woman reading this, is going to see that in 25 other profiles. Where with men, and you and I have joked about this before, like, we haven't gotten to pictures yet, but fish pictures or so, there's just stuff that all of a sudden you just see over and over and over again, and just becomes redundant. And I think that's one thing to kind of know, is this going to be on every other profile as well?
Yeah, and read profiles so you can see what you're up against and what you don't want to do, what you do want to do. Let me give you an example of a really good app profile and a really good profile for the dating sites.
Okay.
And I always start with the positive and start with things that make me happy. Like, I think that a man seeing what would make a woman happy would be like, oh, I like all those things. I would love to make her happy with those things. So he has to see himself in here, or if it's a woman, she has to see herself in a man's profile. So here's this woman. It's hard to keep track of all the things that make me happy. New York pizza, pop music, audiobooks, especially mysteries, traveling, ice skating, playing Name That Tune and trivia, exercising, spending time with friends and family, going out for drinks and live music, fostering dogs, and beach and pool time. So we get a really big little, array of things that this woman loves. And this man reading it could be like, ooh, name that tune. Now I can ask her a question about that. Okay, then she talks a little bit about work, but you don't always want to share about work. But in her case, this is her passion. I'm passionate about my work as a real estate agent because I get to help people during the most important transitions of their lives. So the because is the value behind it. So if you're going to talk about something you love, add the word because. I'm able to hold their hands and keep them calm through it all. If we were in a relationship, I'd do the same for you, right? So we're painting a picture. Yeah. A good match for me is someone who's my best friend. He's funny, kind, curious, caring, compassionate, respectful, fun, ambitious, and loving. Whether we're lying by the pool, sitting by my fire pit with a glass of wine, traveling, snuggling on the couch, watching a movie. This is because she's so active. We needed to put she also rests. Yeah. Or camping. We'd have so much fun together. If this sounds like you, please say hi. I can't wait to connect. So you get a sense of who she is. You get a sense of what she's looking for. Very varied, right? She's giving you lots of options here. And then she's also painting what is a relationship with her like. What does she want? Her relationship standards. And then at the end, there's a call to action. That's so important. A lot of people don't say, if this resonates, say hi. I used to say bonus points for men who message me first, and men would be going like, oh, did I get my points? So it's little ways to hook people in. And what sense did you get, Silke, from this profile?
Oh, I thought it was great. I thought it was very positive, sounded like a fun person. I thought it was terrific. Yeah, absolutely. Makes a lot of sense. So how would you, and this was for a site now, like a Match.com.
Right, exactly. So for an app. One of the easy ways to write one is to write a list. So I have an example here of a top 5 list, which is top 5 things I love: peanut butter with crunch, walks on the beach in winter, spicy salmon sushi, the Museum of Modern Art, and hearing about your top 5. So it's not the whole picture, right? It's just little bits, but it's enough to say, ooh, spicy salmon sushi. My favorite is salmon avocado. It's just an opening. When you have a profile that has clear, specific, whatever it is about your life, it's not just going to museums, it's the Museum of Modern Art. Tell me who's your favorite artist? You've got an opening to start a conversation as opposed to, I'm loyal, I'm, black dress, chubby hair and jeans, partner in crime. What do you say to that? How do you start a conversation?
Exactly. Well, you dribble in, if you will, points that, they spark a vision or something where you can see yourself with that person. I, for example, I hate sushi, so I may not answer, but that's a
right. But you could say, I'm not a sushi fan, but when I go out for Japanese, I get the hibachi, or, and then you can start what else do you like when you get Japanese? I don't know. How's seaweed salad? Do you like that? Just it's an
but you're right. It sparks a conversation, whether, you don't have to like sushi to get along, but it can always make it fun right away.
Correct.
Yeah, no, I like that. Well, let's move on to pictures, because I think you would probably agree, most people do. That's probably one of the most important, if not the most important, part of a profile, because everybody is so visual. So what's the lowdown on pictures these days? What do you want? What do you don't want?
They are absolutely the most important part. Mm-hmm. Even people who are deep and want to read your profile, essay, whatever you write, they're going to look at your pictures first. Mm-hmm. And if they like you, they might go back and read something, but spend more time on the pictures than anything else. Mm-hmm. So I want to talk about what to post and what not to post.
Okay.
So to post 2 or 3 close-ups, make sure your best close-up is your main picture. And you want to look approachable. So smile, show your teeth, don't cross your arms. I've seen women send me pictures and they're like, looking like this, where they're like kind of tough businesswoman.
Yeah.
And it's very off-putting. It's like unapproachable. And so your body language speaks a lot to the person that's looking at your picture, and they'll be like, And then in terms of color really pops. And so for men, if you are wearing like a nice color shirt that brings out the color of your eyes, even just any color other than white or black for women or men is going to set you apart. Even a color background, like if you find like a really cool background to take pictures against. So I do recommend getting some professional shots. This is like, you wouldn't just post a really bad photo if you were going on a job interview and you put your LinkedIn photo as this terrible out of focus selfie that's 10 years old, and that's what people post to online dating. It's like, here's me when I was 20 and now I'm 65. I don't care what you look like when you were 20. I don't really. So you had more hair. Great. Yeah. Is that how you identify today? So it's a big no-no, and a lot of people do it.
I saw that too. I remember that. Yeah, this was feedback that it doesn't matter. So that's a big takeaway. No old pictures, period. Nobody cares. Nobody cares.
No, in fact, they start to question you if they start to see a variety of pictures with different hair colors, different hair lengths, bald, not bald. Like, you're going to start to wonder, who am I going to meet if I actually go on a date? And they really look like different people. Most people are going to move on. So quick, give them a great first impression.
Yeah.
So that's the close-ups. And then you want to have 1 or 2 full-length shots. You want to have pictures of what you look like, again, today, not 20 pounds ago, or what you would like to look like. Don't Photoshop. Like, this is you. They're going to find out who you are as soon as they get on a date with you. Yeah. Don't lie. There are people who love every body type. There's a lid for every pot. Just own what you got, rock what you got.
Yeah. As you said, Sandy, we present ourselves the way we might want to be seen, but if that's not who you are, that's going to not going to work. One of the biggest complaints is when you meet up with a date, for the first time, and they're just absolutely not what you were expecting. They're either older or bigger or something. And shorter. I think that's shorter. That's one of the biggest, it's a huge mistake. You will never be able to go on and actually create a relationship with in that way, correct?
No, it's deceptive and it's disappointing. It's like you're turned off right away and you just want to leave. Like, if you're going to lie about this, what else are you going to lie about? I was expecting one thing. I got this other thing. It's a bait and switch. And get over your insecurities, work through them, work with a coach, work with a therapist. Like, you really have to own who you are today. I dated a guy once who told me that he used to be really athletic back in the day. He was a softball player and he was on a league, and now he does nothing. And it was like, I don't care what you did, I care what you do. And so remember that it's what you're doing now. And
Yeah.
hopefully you're doing some interesting things. And if not, then go out and do some interesting things. But, and you're just talking about the lie for a minute. The other thing that people lie about a lot is age. And I think especially in this age range, I advocate for honesty, but if you are looking to date a wider range of people and you want to be found in a search and you want to fudge your age by a couple of years, just make sure that you are honest about it, either in the profile essay itself or on the first message or first phone call. You never want to go into the date with 10 more years on you and then the person feels again that this is deceptive.
Yeah. The to clarify again, if somebody isn't familiar with this, the reason a lot of people lie is like what Sandy said. If you want to get into a bigger search result, you have to your age is, well, there's ranges, 40 to 50, 40, whatever it is, but people skew younger, so they come up in more searches, which is understandable. But yeah, like you said, unless you fess up to it right away, again, you've created something that you can't get past. It's not
right.
All your efforts are going nowhere. So
yeah, you build distrust, and once you're there, it's hard to come back.
Yeah.
Okay, so a couple of other photo tips is a special occasion photo is always nice, and it could be you going to a wedding or a christening or bar bat mitzvah. If you get dressed up, even if you're dressing up to go to a date, take a selfie, take a picture. And 1 or 2 action shots. And these are really important. You want to give your match a sense of your lifestyle. So if you have photos of you playing tennis or golf or gardening or hiking, travel pictures, where are you? I've been there. I've always wanted to go there. It starts a conversation. These pictures tell a story. And so story pictures are fantastic. And caption them. On a lot of the sites, you can put a caption, and that also helps. So let's talk about what not to post. Don't post pictures of your kids. This is my opinion. Other experts may disagree, but I think it's not fair to your kids to include them. Also, the person is meeting you and not your children. You don't introduce your children, if you have them, to somebody unless you're in a long-term relationship. Right. And so, totally agree. If it's a grandchild, a newborn baby, and you're holding that baby and nobody has to see the face and really identify who this kid is, it can show a side of you that's loving, and maybe then you have a conversation about being a grandparent.
Right.
But in general, you could ask your kids, hey, would you like to be on an online profile with me? I pretty much guarantee they're going to say no way.
Yeah.
All right. Another thing not to do is post yourself in a group. It's... somebody's meeting you for the first time. They're seeing your picture for the first time and they're going, which one are they? They're not going to do that. They're going to go swipe left. Then clutter. Any picture that has a background with clutter, the bathroom, the toilet.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Not good.
No.
I'm a big believer in not having a lot of alcohol pictures. And some people, every photo is them beer, wine, and so if your opening photo is you drinking and then you have a photo of a group of people and they're all getting drunk together, you're telling a story, and it may not even be the true story, but it's just, you've taken some pictures with drinks. Yeah. And then the last thing is just not revealing, and that goes for men and women. Like keep your treasures hidden until you're ready to show them. Women do not get turned on by seeing a man who's half dressed, especially over 50. And I'm not saying anything to put anybody down, but it's just conveying that all you want is sex. That's the message that women are going to take away. And if that's true, great, go find some sex. But if you're looking for a relationship and it's not your intention to just be sexual, then really don't. Yeah. And women, the same thing. Like, don't be doing cleavage shots, and unless you're really wanting men to comment on your boobs.
Yeah.
I just think there's a time and a place, and we want to reveal slowly.
Yeah, no, I agree. That was one of the biggest turnoffs for me, were the shirtless pictures. I just didn't get it. It's, okay, you might have a good body, but that's fine. But on a dating profile, I think it's totally inappropriate. And the cleavage ones as well. A couple of friends of mine showed me some. It's like, I couldn't even imagine putting myself out there like that. But
Think about what you want. And if you want sex, then post whatever you want to post. But if you're looking for a long-term relationship and you want to be respected for your values, then don't lead with sex. Right. And the same goes for men who post fish pictures and pictures in camouflage or dead animals and, motorcycle, like all the, macho, mostly fish and dead animal hunting pictures. No matter what part of the country you live on in and how normalized that is, it's pretty unappealing to most women. I really think that most men do that because it defines them as a man. I am a provider. Look, I can fish. I can hunt. Women like that. So we need to have conversations with each other to see, do we really like that?
Do we really?
Or do we just think that the opposite sex likes that? And the same with women who post overly new agey kind of yoga goddess things that men would be scratching their heads about, but maybe their girlfriends think is pretty awesome. So remember who you're talking to. That's a really important part of the whole online dating process.
Yeah. Is there anything that we left out that under the title, dating profiles today, what you need to know about sites, anything I didn't ask that you think we need to talk about?
I just think if you're hesitating and waiting for the perfect site and the perfect message and the perfect profile, just get yourself out there. You can always edit along the way. You'll get feedback. You'll hear nothing from people. And then you'll say, well, maybe I need to change up a few things, change your photos and put a different one as the lead photo, and you're going to get a different response. Just play with it like you're marketing, because you are. You're marketing yourself, and you're hoping to advertise who you are, your authentic self, and then just start conversations and get on dates. That's the whole purpose of this whole thing.
Exactly. And like I said, there's a lot of people that have become fed up with this, and it's really how you're gonna come across stuff that's gonna piss you off, or you can get frustrated. But all in all, it's a terrific way to get yourself out there and meet people if everybody just has the right attitude. Sandy, thank you so much again for your time. We will link obviously to all of your information, to your website. You bring a terrific perspective to this finding love over 50 and 40 and beyond.
And beyond.
And beyond. Yes. So thanks again, Sandy. We'll talk to you again soon on Second Act TV. If you haven't done so already, please be sure to subscribe to our channel. The button is right over here. Just click on through to YouTube, and when you see the little bell right next to the subscribe button, hit that too. We'll notify you every time we launch a new video. See you next time.